Well, hi, I'm Jon Watt. I'm pastor of Northwood Presbyterian Church and also one of the co-chairs of the Commission on Ministry down in Mission Presbytery. And I'm joined today by Reverend Kevin Keaton, who is a church consultant for the Board of Pensions, who's going to help us to understand a little more about the changes that are coming to the Board of Pensions for 2025. Welcome, Kevin. Thank you for being here.
It's a privilege always to be with good folks in the church and to talk about what's going on in the benefits plan.
Well, thank you. I was wondering, just to get us started, if you could lay out some of the broad strokes of the changes that are coming.
Well, primarily, the way we've done benefits in the past has been a one-size-fits-all approach. And the changes that are coming are able to allow churches to tailor-make plans that are going to meet the needs of their pastors more closely. Instead of paying for family coverage whether or not you need it, that the church will only need to be paying for what the pastor needs. And so the plan itself, as far as benefits are concerned, there's no change to the benefits. The real changes are how the dues are paid to pay for those benefits.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So one of the questions that I've been hearing is, why make this change now? What was it that necessitated the change for the Board of Pensions?
Well, it's a number of factors. First, it is inflation, the high cost of healthcare that keeps growing. Our actuaries have told us if we kept at the flat dues rate, we were quickly going to be beyond 50% and beyond with no end in sight. There also are other factors at play. If you recall, during the pandemic, the board practiced dues forgiveness, and we also did not increase dues immediately afterwards as churches recovered. And we've been needing to catch up to be at a pace where we are actually collecting the dues that we need to provide for the health care for our church workers. And by changing this due structure, we more closely will align the dues we receive with what we pay.
Okay. So can you help us get into the weeds a little bit of the changes that are coming?
Well, we'll do our best. Let me share the screen and we'll get into the dues, into the benefits that we're going to be offering going forward. There we go. The benefits plan primarily is going to be providing two benefits packages for ministers. Again, the healthcare benefits in particular will not be changing. How they are funded will be changing. And the two dues packages will be the covenant package, which essentially mirrors the current minister's choice, and the congregational pastor's package, which will be replacing what we now call pastor's participation. The covenant package is going to totally mirror minister's choice, pension, death, disability, temporary disability with access to the EAP and assistance in education programs. The difference is going to be that it's going to be available to any church worker who serves 20 hours a week or more. The key to keep in mind here is that all church workers who are currently in the benefits plan, who are receiving health care and other benefits through the benefits plan offerings with PPO, EPO, or high deductible plans, or some of the other offerings that are made available, those don't change at all. This is just one more option for churches, for their employees. It particularly works well for commissioned pastors, for certified Christian educators, and long-term church workers. And this is going to be at 10% of effective salary, just like minister's choice, and that's entirely paid by the employer. The congregational pastor's package will replace pastor's participation and fulfill the book of order requirement for providing benefits for installed pastors. And then also be made available to any congregational pastoral leader. That's interim, transitional, state supply, temporary supply, but also commissioned pastors who are working 20 hours a week. We see that this will fill another gap in there. And our commissioned pastors, will have more options. They can go through the benefits plan offerings. They can go into the covenant package if they do not need health care, or here they have access to health care through the congregational pastors package. The coverage will be the same coverage they've had with PPO medical, with pension, death, and disability, with a total of 26% of effective salary, and that's all paid by the congregation. The big change is the ability to only pay for the benefits that are needed by the pastor's family. And the congregation may choose to pay all, some, or none of the cost for that coverage. But we're not cutting off coverage for anybody. Again, it's about how we pay for that. And those dues cost will vary based on coverage, whether it be child, and we pay child and children one cost, spouse, and family. We know that these will be a big change for some churches, particularly those who have been at a minimum participation basis for medical, which this year is $13,500, which, by the way, is less than half of what the actual retail value is, depending on where one lives, because the real cost of that is going to be closer to $30,000 to $38,000 per year. And so we know it's going to be a big adjustment for churches. So the board has decided to offer a 3-year transitional plan of pastors' participation. So instead of paying a total of 39%, next year will go up to 43% and increasing in the next 2 years. Here's what people need to do. First of all, you need to know what you're paying now. So every church, every pastor can go in to the board's website, which is pensions, pensions.org, type in the search engine calculator. It will bring you to a series of calculators, and you want the pastor's participation dues calculator. And it will show you what those costs are currently, because you need to know what you're paying now at 39% before you start making decisions whether transitional or the congregational pastors package. And then from there, you need to go to the decision guide, which is also on that same page, and it will walk you through the various steps to make those choices to see what those benefits are going to be. So I'm going to stop sharing there for a moment to see what other questions I might answer as we...
Yeah. That is all so exceptionally helpful. I was wondering, so we go to pensions.org, and I
Correct.
think I remember you saying we could type calculator into the search bar.
Correct.
As a way to find that. Could we pick a hypothetical salary and step through what that decision process might look like?
Yes, indeed. But here is the pastor's participation dues calculator. This has the numbers for 2024. You can see here's the plan year you select, put in $65,000, and you will see that that's all broken down, but the total cost is $25,350. Then if someone goes to the decision guide has a series of questions that people ask. Is it a Peace USA congregation? Are they currently employed? Is this an installed position? Yes. Would they be in pastor's participation? Yes. And again, the $65,000. And you can see here are the basic dues for pension, death and disability, and temporary disability with member-only medical. So the handy thing about this is this adjusts the total cost. If there's no need for dependent coverage, you see the total cost there is $16,900. If you need children, you can see it goes to $25,850. Spouse coverage, it goes to $27,900. And then that family coverage, it goes to $37,500, which is about $10,000 more than the church is paying in pastors' participation right now, which is why you want to be sure to scroll down and see those transitional pastors' participation cost. And you can see there that for 2025, that would be $27,950. So everybody can do this, put in the effective salary of their pastor and see what that looks like and what the needs are for the pastor and what those dues cost will be. And of course, there will be conversations, with congregations and the Commission on Ministry to discern if there is cost sharing, because that is a change in the terms of call, and that's something that has to be approved by a congregation and by Missions Commission on Ministry.
Yes. Yeah, that was one of the conversations we've been having in Commission on Ministry, was thinking that churches will really need to be thinking about this, probably getting the conversation started in August, because they will be coming up to the open enrollment time, which I believe begins in October. Is that correct?
That is correct. And it's another key date is mid-August. The employer decision tool will go live on Benefits Connect in pensions.org for each employer representative. And they'll be able to see these options for their pastors, but also what the dues rates will be for their other church employees if they have somebody enrolled in the plan. And then the employer decision season opens then in August and runs through about the first week of October. And then in October, employees accept the benefits offered by the church through about the second week of November.
Okay. And so just as a reminder for personnel committees, for clerks of sessions, as for pastors, as y'all are having these conversations, the assumption is that there will be a continuation of care, and that wouldn't be a change in the terms of call. So you could, if the pastor is receiving the exact same kind of insurance as they were the previous year, you could make the correct change as long as it was caring for the pastor in the correct way. If there is a change, then that is what we're going to be calling a change in terms of call.
Yeah.
And so that will require a vote of the congregation and will have to be ratified by the Commission on Ministry and Mission Presbytery. So that's just a little bit of the process. We wanted to get those dates in front of you because I know many congregations don't start thinking about terms of call until November, December, sometimes even January. And so because this is coming up, we wanted to make sure that you all were thinking about it with plenty of time to go to the calculator, to look through your options and make the best decision for you and your congregation. Kevin, is there anything else that you think that we should cover that would be helpful for people?
Just know that always feel free to reach out to me, contact the folks in Philadelphia. We'll be happy to provide guidance to the best of our ability so that people have the information they need in order to make informed decisions.
Well, Kevin, we are really grateful to you for spending this time, to the Board of Pensions for offering outstanding insurance. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
It's always our pleasure to serve because we serve the servants of the church. And the more we can do that, the better we can build up the body of Christ.